Welcome back to Philippines Uncut. I'm your host, Buddy Cunanan. Tonight's topic is about tourism, and joining us still is Christine Torres, Managing Editor of Experience Travel and Living magazine, and joining her now is Dr. Sunny A. Viloria. He is the Medical Director of BioVital Holistic Center and Symbios. Okay. Welcome, Doctor, to our second segment, and the reason why I'm so glad you're here is because earlier Christine and I were talking about tourism, and one of the major areas of tourism growth now in the Philippines and the entire Southeast Asia really is wellness slash health tourism.
Yeah.
Right now, let's talk about the definition of health tourism, medical tourism, wellness tourism from the magazine. How would you define it, Christine?
Wellness tourism and health tourism.
Yeah, medical tourism. I mean, how would you define what exactly is medical tourism and wellness tourism?
Well, from my perspective, medical tourism is probably all of for example, if you have cancer patients or any sort of illness, it's more catered towards helping that. But wellness tourism is probably more of like the spa life, more leisurely kinds of activities.
Now, have you guys in the media, in the tourism media industry, have you noticed an upsurge in readers' demand or interest in these topics?
Yes, actually, I've noticed a lot of demand for organic products. So it's becoming really, really in the market, whether you're young, and especially if you're elderly. So yeah, wellness definitely is becoming a really, really big market. I've been seeing it a lot in promotional print magazines.
And you featured some in your magazine as well.
Yes,
I understand.
Yes, which I mentioned a while ago, the farm at San Benito.
And we're going to meet another, Dr. Viloria is also heading a similar outfit like the farm, but something a little different, eh?
Yes.
Dr. Viloria, again, welcome to Philippines Uncut. Let's, can you introduce yourself to our audience?
Well, I'm Dr. Sunny Viloria, a medical graduate from St. Louis University, and I had studies on natural therapies and traditional Chinese medicine from Brisbane, Australia. And then right now, we've been in the market. We have the alternative health clinic. The name is BioVital. It has been there for the past 14 years, and then we put up now this time it's of the lifestyle farm, or what we call the Symbios.
So Symbios is like a resort.
Yes,
but
a health resort.
What kind of resort is it? What exactly do you do in Symbios?
Actually, the term is wellness tourism, as you mentioned before. No, I just would like to clarify.
Sure.
When you say medical tourism, it's more gearing towards repair or restructuring or treatment, just like what Christine was saying, no?
For illness,
or
or you want
yeah.
something done with your teeth,
for vanity,
or like vanity.
yeah,
Okay.
for restructuring. If you have to have more butts,
Yeah.
if you have to more facial, what you call repair, something like that, no. But this time, when you use the word wellness tourism, there is something like the heart or the soul already, because the approach is already holistic. Meaning, you touch also the mental, emotional, and even spiritual aspect of the being.
Okay, and then this is where you are in now, wellness
Yes.
tourism. Now, what led you to wellness tourism?
Well, with my more than 20 years of experience with the patients, I've seen so many patients, no matter how much medication they get, no matter how much they spend, they do not get well unless they receive the proper detoxification, particularly organically or biologically, spiritually also, or emotionally. And then the most popular, I keep on reiterating this about the electromagnetic field, because of the too much technology that we have, which hampers the normal flow or pathway of electricity in our body that affects our health, or in short, stress.
Yes, and you guys at Symbios and BioVital Holistic Center, you are trying to address all of these modern these concerns of the modern era, where you said you live with electromagnetic field and stress and all that, and toxins.
And then another thing, we would like to open the mind of the people that we do not create sickness by ourselves. No? There are some, I don't know if you're going to accept it, buddy, but there are also some entities, negative or positive, which are within our environment, within our surrounding, that affects our health.
Yes, yes. Now, okay, let's talk about the industry, about the wellness or medical tourism industry. It really is growing very big, fast, and in fact, you know, other countries in the region have really capitalized on it, like Thailand. We're very big into medical tourism. In fact, they have people flying in from Germany, from France, from mainly from Western Europe, and they fly to Thailand because the cost of medical care is so much cheaper. And they have, aside, they get 5-star treatment, plus they have that whole Asian, you know, the Asian service, which is, I hate to say it, but it really is a lot better than the kind of service, the human touch that you would have here, that you wouldn't necessarily have in, let's say, Western countries, more developed countries. What do
Yeah.
you say about that, Christine?
Yeah, definitely. I think that there's a it's more warm in Asian countries. That, yeah, we have a lot of, we try to make it more holistic. I think that Asia could definitely be one of the wellness centers of the world, because it's very, when you see Filipinos or Asians in general, like they really try to tackle everything all the way down to the care that they give and how they give it. So wellness can be really big.
Is your
here.
magazine planning to focus more on this, on wellness and medical tourism this year?
There could be an issue for it. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope
For sure,
I hope
for
you feature
sure.
Dr. Villoria's outfit.
Yes, we will,
You can use the,
actually.
the publicity.
Yeah.
Now, Dr. Villoria, I mentioned Thailand because it really is a leader in Southeast Asia. They're probably the #1 destination
Yes,
for this.
it is.
How is what is your approach now with wellness tourism? How are you different? How can the Philippines be different from Thailand in this regard?
You know, one thing I noticed about Thailand, the reason they are much into this, of course, as you mentioned, the cost itself, which is quite astronomical when you go to the Western countries, but theirs is about, I think it's about a third only of the price. No? Second is the culture itself. That's the main attraction for the Europeans. They love the culture. They were able to present or package their culture very well. So I think for the Filipinos, that's what we should focus on. No? We have so many resources. When you say resources, it could be in the form of services or products itself. We have right now, I would say, products particularly which is very much interested among the foreigners are the equivalent of olive oil is the coconut oil.
Okay.
That's very popular abroad, no? Particularly being used in the spa industry. And then your essence like ilang-ilang. And then I heard there are some cruise ships that using already malunggay.
Yes, and are you focusing on these? I mean, just on these three among other things.
Yes,
You're
yes.
really doing indigenous
Yeah.
treatments, indigenous products, indigenous
In
produce.
fact, we started planting all these kind of trees already.
Okay. Now, okay. In this sense, the Philippines has something different to offer than, let's say,
Yes.
in Thailand. I mean, of course, Thailand, they have their
It's
Thai
something
massage.
unique.
I'm sure they have their own thing.
We also have our own massage, what we call a silot, no? Or the equivalent of Thai foot massage, which is dagdagay, which comes from the mountain.
Dagdagay?
Which comes from the mountain province.
How is it different from Thai foot massage?
Well, in dagdagay, they also use certain sticks. It's just, I would say, the position. I mean, the location where they put the sticks, no? They stick the sticks.
And in hilot, okay, I mean, of course, you've all heard about hilot. Let's say, growing up, if I had a sprain or whatever, some say, oh, pahilot natin.
Yes.
But somehow, it hasn't, how come it hasn't caught on? I mean, you go to massage place now, you have Swedish, Shatsu, you've got Thai massage. How come the whole hilot, it's a native thing, it's something we grew up with, but how come it hasn't been developed? How come awareness is so
I think
low?
there's still a confusion on that part, no? And it still needs lots of study. Because a study was conducted before by UP. And there was a difference between a hilot from the north, from the zone, as well as Mindanao. So how will it be jived? Another thing is that what they're using liniments, there's also a difference. There are those who don't use liniments, and there are those who use lana or coconut oil. No? So right now, there's nothing specific about what kind of hilot, particularly in the direction of the massage. When you do the Swedish, you normally do it, the direction should be towards the heart.
Yeah.
No? But in hilot, it could be up and down.
No, but how come it hasn't caught on even with us as Filipinos here, living in the country? You know, I like going for massages, and the one they ask me, Shatsu or Swedish. But how come hilot? It's somehow forgotten. It hasn't become mainstream.
I think it has something to do, sorry to say it, with the government also, with the concentration. I used to work before with the Department of Health. We were the one to introduce the TAMA, or Philippine Institute for Traditional Alternative Healthcare. That was 1995.
Okay.
From that time, we only developed 10 herbal medicine, 10 herbal plants. No? Until now, it still remains to be 10 herbal plants. And we did not tackle,
Since 1995?
Yeah, and we didn't tackle or discuss more about the hilot, anything like that. No?
Yes,
So
yes.
what we're trying to apply more is the reflexology, which came from China.
Okay.
So there should be political will. If that will be developed, that's very, very
Yes,
good.
I think the DOT under Secretary Jimenez is really very
Yes.
active, and even their show now, it's more fun in their advertisement. It's more fun in the Philippines. It's all about things you can do locally and fun stuff to do.
Actually, there are some certain spas who offer hilot, but they alter. I mean, they have different practices somehow. They
Yes.
have different maneuvers, but they
Yes.
just use the word hilot itself.
And this is a mainstay of your
Yes.
center. You really are focusing on hilot.
Hilot, yeah.
Okay, great. Now, Christine, we talked about the farm earlier,
Yes.
and this is actually something along the lines of what Dr. Villoria is trying to accomplish in your center. Now, unfortunately for the farm, beautiful place, but it's also very kind of prohibited.
Right.
Have you been to the farm?
Yes, yes. We've actually covered it in our latest issue.
And
Yeah.
describe the experience. Describe the farm experience.
Well, I describe it as holistic actually,
Yeah.
because they have a medical center there where you can have your self-check. They have the strictly vegan food, so it's very like leading you onto the detoxification process. They even have special bathrooms where, like, if for example you're a couple, you have separate bathrooms because detoxification process. You have a lot of
Sure. Toxins.
toxins going out of your body. So they also have like therapists and programs like yoga and wellness kind of activities in the farm. So that's why I say it's very holistic, and the place itself is also serene.
Yes.
Yeah, they also cultivate certain things like coconut.
Yeah.
So they make coconut oil, all of that, and that's what they use in their massages and their food as well.
Now, Dr. Villoria, how is your place different from, let's say, a place like the farm?
Well, first of all, the location itself. It's about 20-30 minutes drive from Quezon Memorial Circle. That's a
Your
major,
place?
Yeah.
That's Symbios?
Yeah, Symbios.
Okay.
And then second are the offering. We would like to help somehow more of the middle class and those also of the lower class, because aside from letting them stay at the Symbios, we also conduct regular lectures. It's more of awakening their senses, as well as letting them know that these are the causes of the diseases, just like your electromagnetic field, which can be treated with proper pranic healing or Reiki healing or earthling, and that's how they call it, or grounding. No, we just let them walk at the stream of water, which is starting from the waterfalls going to the lagoon, those things. And then we also introduce the locavore concept. Locavore means you have to introduce indigenous resources, particularly food, which you can find within your 100 kilometers environment. No, so that means there could be lesser carbon impact from the environment. Second is that you're trying to generate more employment for the local people,
Yes,
and then the chance that the food that they're going to take is more fresh and it's more nutritious.
Yes. Now, describe your place. Describe what the Symbios, looks like.
Well, it's
You said 20 minutes outside Manila.
Yeah.
So, I mean, with the traffic now and congestion, you go 20 minutes outside Manila, you're not really going very far.
yeah.
So,
Well, it's about, as you mentioned, 20 minutes from Manila. It's at the top of the mountain. The temperature is just like Tagaytay. It's quite cool.
wow, really?
Yeah, we even have some fogs. And where would you find alitap-tap or fireflies in the evening?
Really? Still?
Yes, we still
Are
have
you
it.
sure we're talking about the same place?
Yeah.
20
Yes.
minutes outside Manila?
Yes. Yeah. It's actually, if I may
Sure,
mention
please,
the name,
please,
it's
yeah.
a Timberland Farm Estate.
Okay.
And usually every weekend there are lots of bikers there that goes now. They're even saying that that's right now the bikers' capital of the Philippines.
So your place it's located on top of a mountain
yeah.
or
top of the
yeah.
mountain, but it's a hill. Actually, it's a valley.
Okay.
I mean, no. So it's a big slice of land. It's about 6,500 square meters. At the top, when you're at the top, you can see. When you look at the left side, it's from Manila Bay to Laguna de Bay. But when you look at the right side, on the other side, you can see the Mount Arayat here in Manila.
And you said Timberland. It's located in an exclusive village.
Well-secured village. Yeah.
Okay. And then on the site, what kind of facilities do you have?
Well, as much as possible, we try to encourage the art of doing nothing. I think that's
like
the
that.
most. Yeah, that's the most relaxing. When I am there, I normally just try to be afloat at the lagoon, and I can do that half day doing nothing. You're really going to enjoy it. Yeah. Okay. I just under the bamboo groves, nakaduyan ka lang. And then that's it most of the time. And then we let them eat what they want naturally. And then mostly we offer fruits most of the time.
Do you have accommodation on site?
We have accommodations right now. And then have you experienced taking a bath in the Batalan? You know what a
What is
batalan is?
batalan? Christine, does Christine know what a batalan is? I don't know.
That's an
Light
open bathroom. That's an open bathroom. So there, we don't have water heater. We don't have air conditioner. Everything is fresh.
Okay, let's go back to this open bathroom. When you say open bathroom, you know, it brings a lot of ideas, but I'm not sure exactly what to think about it.
Well, at least there's a cover. There's a concrete or something like a nipa up to this level only.
Okay.
But you can see it's open right now. It's you can even see the bamboo leaves going into your face, something like that.
And you know, it's all native material, the
Yes.
cottages, all that.
You know, one thing I experienced now, when I'm sleeping in our house, which is made up of concrete aircon, usually I'm already awake by 2 a.m. But whenever I sleep at the farm, I usually wake up about 4 to 5 a.m. And that's the feeling that you don't know that you're still alive. That's a big difference. You're really well rested when you have that. No? Di ba when we sleep, meron tayong dream state, no? But with that, wala, totally.
Wow, and I understand that your place, you try to minimize anything electronic, any
Yes.
kind of. How do you do that? How do you
Well,
accomplish that? You know, it's hard now to go to a place where there's no cell signal or no Wi-Fi. How do you isolate yourself from all these
Luckily,
electromagnetic?
when I acquired it, there's really no electromagnetic field anymore. There's no signal. So I think that's it. I don't know until when will that be.
Yes, yes.
And then, in fact, when I came there first, there was even a honeybee, yung beehive. And that's a sign, actually, that there's no electromagnetic field. And there are lots
Really?
of
How come?
fireflies.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, so you mean tell me, like, if there's an electromagnetic field created by a cell site or Wi-Fi, how come this affects the presence of honeybees?
They are so sensitive all about this electromagnetic field.
Okay. Now, okay, let's talk about promoting these, because your establishment is fairly new. It's new. You only
Yes.
opened November, right,
Yeah.
last year, and there aren't many like your place in the country. And clearly, there's a lot of potential for this back to roots, using indigenous
nature.
techniques and indigenous products. How can we promote this, you know, locally and let's say overseas? Christine, let's start with you with the magazine.
Promote the local scene.
Yes, like example, this kind of wellness is back to, you know, indigenous local traditions and you know, differentiating ourselves from Thailand and other countries who are doing the same thing.
Well, actually, for Experience Magazine, an added part of it is that it's distributed outside of the country as well.
Oh, okay.
So the beautiful thing about that is for local places, like for example, his place, it's featured in the magazine, and people, foreigners and people who live abroad can go back to it and be like, oh, this is what my home looks like now. This is what the new developments in the country right now. So I think, yeah, that helps with the promotion, of course, when you have it on a magazine, and of course with the DOT's campaign now. I think it's a very, very big help.
Absolutely. And how about with Pinoys? How do we promote Dr. Vilora's, you know?
With Binoys, like locally
Yes,
here.
yeah.
I
I mean, now, I've only heard about it now, and I want to go.
Yeah.
But see, so few people have heard about these places that are kind of off the beaten track that people don't know about. We know about the big places, famous places like the farm, but
yeah,
not other
you know,
places.
I think for me, in terms of promotion, the social media networking thing is a really, really big thing. Especially, you know, when people start sharing links and stuff like that, it means that they genuinely want to, like, show you this place, guys.
It's
this
not
place is
paid for.
amazing.
It's
Yeah.
not. It's voluntary, right?
Yeah, what
It's
they
made an
call
impact on
trending
them.
types
Yeah.
of things,
Yeah,
and yeah, especially if you're very nationalistic and you want to look into the spots in the Philippines that you like, then you share it. You share articles on stuff like that. Yeah.
Excellent. Dr. Villar, how are you promoting Symbios today, currently?
Right now, I talk on the radio as well as social media.
Which social media?
Facebook, mostly.
Oh,
Facebook.
okay.
And then referrals, of course.
Yes.
And there's even a group who came all the way from Cagayan de Oro. They spent their New Year in our place.
Really? How was New Year like in your place? Very quiet.
Very quiet with lots of lights.
With lots, I'm sorry.
Lights.
Lights. Okay. Okay. Are you planning to do other promotions? What kind of promotions are you?
Right
have in the
now,
works?
I would like to maintain first the serenity of the place. I do not want a big number of people because the place will really be destroyed. At the very start, I'm supposed to have it something like a retreat place, particularly. And I was even targeting before those who are working at the call center, because I pity them a lot.
Yeah,
They're
they need
so
major
young.
detox.
Yeah, they really need a
No,
detox.
super.
No?
I've heard
Graveyard shift.
horror
Yes.
stories about the physical state of our Filipinos working in call centers. They keep bad
Yes.
hours. They don't sleep right. They don't eat right.
That's
they
why-
smoke too much. Drink too much caffeine.
Stress. Yeah.
There
They
you
drink in
go.
the morning so they can sleep
Yeah,
when they go home.
geez. How many people can you sustain? I mean, can your center accommodate with maintaining sustaining the tranquility of the place?
If it is actually just like, let's say, a whole day seminar, we can accommodate as much as 50. But overnight stay, we accommodating only between 10 to 20.
Only, wow. I mean, that's not a lot.
Yes.
So I think you have your hands. So any plans to expand this year? Maybe have a satellite.
Not yet at this year, but
location.
we still have somewhat to perfect everything.
Yes, yes. Okay, and unfortunately we've come to the end of our show, but we're definitely going to feature more of tourism and people like you, Christine. I hope you come back to the show again to talk about your as you roll out your new products.
Thank you
And of
for
course, Dr.
having me.
Villoria, we're going to see you next week.
Yes.
But before we go, last words from Christine.
Yeah, you guys can catch the next issue of Experience Magazine coming out in February, and I hope you enjoy all of the new inputs that we have for this year.
Where can they find Experience Travel and Leisure?
You can find it in any national bookstore.
Travel and
outlet.
Living. Experience Travel and Living. Seriously, pardon me. Continue.
Experience Travel and Living, you can find it in National Bookstore. You can buy it there. You can also go to Starbucks and just squat around for a bit and then look around. We also have complimentary copies with them as well.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you, Christine. Dr. Villoria, as I said again, next week, you and
Yes.
me, 1 hour, we're going to talk about your
Yeah.
show because really one segment is too short to delve into everything about the Symbios. But last words from you, sir?
Well, I think I have just to reiterate the mission of BioVital, no? Which is we treat, we teach, we reach.
Thank you very much, sir. And maybe some contact details.
Okay, my number, particularly cell phone number na lang, 0921-260-8459. I repeat, 0921-260-8459. There
And
they can reach already BioVital as well as Symbios, no? Or they can visit the website, Symbios Holistic and Wellness Retreat.
Is that on
Sorry,
Facebook or is it its own
Facebook.
website?
Facebook,
So just type that?
Symbios, Symbios, Holistic and Wellness Sanctuary.
Yes, and they can know, and your information is all there on
Yes.
Facebook. Great. Thank you very much, Christine.
Thank you.
And thank you very much, Dr.
Thank you,
Villoria.
thank
More
you.
power to you guys. And
Yeah.
definitely we're going to feature, as I said, we're going to feature more tourism. And of course, you, sir, next week.
Yeah.
So guys, I hope you like our show about Philippine tourism. Join us again next week on the show where we talk about what matters to you because you guys matter the most. See you next week.